Queens, New York native Antione Gray is a rising senior at U of Penn's College of Arts and Sciences, studying political science and sociology. Antione has had various past internships to explore his many passions. He knew he wanted his 2016 summer internship to prepare him for a career in real estate, government, and nonprofit. So, he accepted a position with Paladin, a social justice startup in New York City. While a new social enterprise wasn't his first choice, it's been a great learning experience for him, and he's going to tell us more about his work with Paladin today. Hi, Antione. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So, Paladin is a social justice startup. When was it founded, by whom, and what exactly does the company do?
So the founder of Paladin, Felicity Conrad, had worked at the UN both during and after law school. And after her tenure at the UN, she became a human rights attorney at a leading international law firm where she worked on human rights cases in East Africa, Haiti, China, and in France. And in doing that work, she had a first-hand view of the amount of injustice that was going on in the world. And she really began to think about the impact that she and her fellow lawyers could have on the world if they each perform the American Bar Association's recommended 50 hours of pro bono work per year. So last year in July 2015, she left her legal career to work on Paladin full-time. And along the way, she met her co-founder, Kristen Sonde, who was also very passionate about social justice and brought her experiences from working at the Department of Justice and a Y Combinator startup to help Felicity bring her idea to life. So in a nutshell, Paladin is working to streamline corporate social responsibility by building a global pro bono marketplace that connects professionals, starting with attorneys, with pro bono opportunities and tracks the impact that they have in their communities.
How did you end up at Paladin? Did you consider other internships, and what was your process to finding this one?
Yeah. So last semester, I was in Washington, D.C. with the Penn in Washington semester program. In that program, I was interning full-time as well as taking classes at night, so I was really, really busy. And I was just caught up in the shuffle, getting my homework done, getting my work assignments done, stuff like that. And March crept up on me really quickly, and I really had to scramble to find something to do for the summer. I only had about 2 months left. So I started off applying to organizations that friends and former coworkers from other internships had recommended to me. But the bulk of my search came through PennLink, which is Penn's online job database. So I set up filters by location and by industry, kind of seeing what was close to home so I wouldn't have to pay for housing, but also something that I was really interested in and something that would build my skills. And I knew I wanted to do something that would help develop my business skills. So as a political science major, I don't really get on the academic training in business, so I wanted to work on that over the summer. In all, I applied to about 20 internships or so, interviewed for 6, and Paladin, at the end of the interview process, Paladin stood out to me as the most exciting. But was really interesting, though, is that I really wasn't excited about Paladin at first, honestly, because I was really busy just trying to get my work done. So I was just trying to apply to as many internships as possible, as quickly as possible. But in the end, it shone above the rest, and I chose to work at Paladin for the summer.
What are your main internship responsibilities?
So at an early stage startup, there aren't really any main responsibilities. As the first intern, I kind of do whatever needs to get done whenever it needs to get done. But my main job role kind of falls into 4 buckets. The first is research, so kind of researching the pro bono marketplace and seeing what case opportunities are out there, seeing what potential law firms and nonprofits we could partner with to expand our business, and looking at different markets that we could operate in. So currently we're in New York City, Chicago, and Baltimore. The second is kind of business development strategy. So kind of pitching our product to these organizations and law firms and getting to cultivate those relationships so we could receive their cases and have those partners to give to our attorneys. The third, which has been the most interesting and most fun to me, was HR and hiring, kind of building out the team. And it's been really interesting to me to see the psychology behind managing people and choosing, seeing how people fit into the culture and the mission of the company. That's been really interesting. And the last bucket is kind of product development, which is using the research that I did in the first step, pretty much, to put those cases together and match them with the data that attorneys provided us in our online form, our intake form, and matching them with case opportunities that align with their interests and their prior expertise.
What else would you say about the value of internships? Why have they been useful for you?
Yeah, internships have been very, very useful. One, I think that internships is a great way to build an authentic network. So for me, networking is more than just chatting people up at a mixer and collecting business cards and hoping that someone responds to your follow-up email. The people that you intern with, your friends, they can, one, vouch for your character, and your bosses and supervisors can vouch for the quality of your work and your work ethic. And they all have networks of their own that they'll be more than willing to share with you, provided that you prove that you're a great person to work with and be around. Secondly, interning gives you a really good chance at introspection, kind of seeing what you like, what kind of work you like, what kind of environment you like being in. And it's really easy to figure out what you don't want to do because you remember the bad experiences more than the good ones. But I will say that most internships will kind of be okay. Like, you won't be too excited, but it gets the job done, like you're learning. And so that process of figuring out what you really want to do, kind of just trial and error. You'll like bounce around, learn a bunch of different skills and a lot of different things about the industry you want to do and how you work. And at the end of the day, it'll come together somewhere along the line for you to find work that you're really passionate about.
What are your main takeaways from this experience about social justice and the startup culture and even yourself?
Yeah. So I kind of learned that I really enjoy working in small teams. At a really big firm and organization, especially as an entry-level employee, it's really easy to get lost in the shuffle and feel like you're not really making an impact. So working on a really small team, I can see the fruits of my labor play out in real time, and that kind of motivates me to work harder and produce more quality work to see like the real tangible aspects that the work that I did had in the company.
So you have one more year of undergrad. Where do you hope to take your life and your career?
Yeah. Really hard question. Unlike most kids at Penn, I'm not 100% sure exactly what I want to do next year. I know that in the long run, I want to get into nonprofit management, government work, doing things like affordable housing development and community development. But in the short term, I want to do something that'll, one, strengthen my skills as a manager and like a business leader, but also expose me to different realms of corporate social responsibility, seeing how I can really make an impact on the world using my skills and my knowledge. So I'm going to do OCR this fall just to see what's out there. I'm from New York City, so it's really convenient for me to look at jobs in New York. But I also really enjoyed my time in DC, so I might take the government nonprofit route, and we'll see what happens from there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.